It's not just privilege of funds and capital and a good lifestyle. It's privilege of the political ecosystem. It's privilege of infrastructure. It's privilege to have these conversations with you.
What has been, let's say, the last 5 years like for you as an individual in your journey to reach that impact story?
Last 5 years have been really game changing for me. Someone mentioned when you turn 30, a lot of the stars realign, and I didn't know what was coming. So that's exactly 5 years ago. But as a professional, my journey with Antara, which was my entrepreneurial venture under the Max Group, I transitioned from a day to day role, and that gave me some bandwidth to step back and again think about the impact and the cause we were making. Two, I had my first baby, and that started to open up horizons to understand about the life and the value system I wanted to be able to enable her with. And education started, therefore, to play a big role in that narrative.
So, what are you doing in education?
So the Maxinia Foundation essentially became donors rather than an operating foundation. We decided to become grant givers because the education not-for-profit sector in India has just grown so beautifully that we decided not to reinvent the wheel. So we have a framework which we use to allocate resources of the foundation to organizations primarily working in foundational literacy, because we really believe the ages 0 to age 8 set the precedence for anybody's future growth, capacity, competency. And therefore, the larger picture of nation building in a way starts to get formed very early in those foundational years. So we pick and choose organizations that we give grants to.
So, I'll take a step back and talk to you about your leadership journey. To step into elder care at a time when very few were looking at it. And being a very young person, so you're not sort of speaking out of experience in one sense. What was that like, and why did you take that step?
So, in one word, it was very challenging. I won't mince my words. Trying to create a category in India in any space is challenging. Then trying to create a category in a space that has resistance, because as a society, people haven't fully adopted the idea of needing care as they get older. Three, being the age that I was, and four, being a woman. When you sort of mix all of these things up, it created its challenges. But when I look back at it, the euphoria I feel for the fact that I had that privilege and that platform supersedes any of the remnant feelings of challenge.
Do you think that that's something our generation needs to put right at the center to remind ourselves of the privilege and to recognize that, those who have it don't often know that they have it? You know what I mean?
200%. And privilege in all sorts of shapes and ways. And it's just not a conversation people have, and it's not an acknowledgement that they have, and they don't do very much with it. And it's quite demotivating for those of us who really value it and are aware of it and thank the universe for it. And like I said, it's at multiple levels. It's not just privilege of funds and capital and a good lifestyle. It's privilege of the political ecosystem. It's privilege of infrastructure. It's privilege to have these conversations with you.
And for the foundation, what kind of goals would you say you're keeping?
So we have, a certain corpus that we work with, that we allocate. I want to be able to grow that year on year, and that corpus will grow through obviously our companies and the CSR funds, as well as our family being able to create more liquidity for philanthropy. So I want to grow that corpus. I see ourselves focusing on the education space for at least another 5 years, because there's a lot to be done.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any videos by us.